What's going on, guys? It's Jalen, Dynamo Property Services, located in Detroit, Michigan, back with another video. And today I'm going to go over our 9.6 Western MVP3 with the wings and our Western Wideout XL, the advantages and disadvantages of both, why we have both in our fleet, and which one would I choose as our only plow. I need to get the starter replaced really bad. Okay, so I have both plows in the scoop position. The reason why this is a fair comparison is because in straight blade mode, this plow is 11 feet 1 inch and this plow is 11 feet 1 inch. Now, while they're both in scoop, this is a 9.6 scoop and this is also a 9.6 scoop. So while they're in the scoop position, let's talk about stacking. Since this is a V plow, the edge of the wings do tend to be higher on the ground on the edges. As you can see in the middle, it's much lower than on the edges. But when you come over here to the Wideout XL, it's pretty much just a straight blade with independent wings. So it doesn't allow the edges of the plow to be higher off the ground. As you can see, it's fairly straight. So this plow, the MVP3, is definitely better for stacking snow. I put both plows in a windrow position to the right. Since we're facing the plows, obviously it's to our left, but I have the edge of the Wideout XL curved out as well as the wing pushed out. Now, since this is a fixed blade with fixed wings, you're not able to do that with the MVP3. So which one is better as far as windrowing? Me personally, I like the MVP3. Now, the Wideout XL does a very good job at windrowing, don't get me wrong, but the only reason why I say the MVP3 is better is because of the flared moldboard. As you can see on the Wideout XL, the only thing that's flared is the wings. The blade is straight, but on the MVP3, it'll roll the snow, kick it up into the middle from the left side, and then on the right side, it will roll up and exit much further. This is actually 39 inches in height on the edge, regardless if you have the wings or not. This is 39 inches tall. Now if you come over here to the Wideout XL, this is only 31 inches tall. So both of them do a very good job at windrowing, but my personal opinion, the MVP3 does a little bit better, but the Wideout XL does just about just as good as a job. Now, the windrowing topic is pretty subjective, but it all comes down to what area you plow in. Here in Detroit, Michigan, we don't really get too much snow. Typically our storms are in between 3 to 4 inches, so the Wideout XL handles it just fine. If you're in a little bit deeper snow, you might want to go with the MVP3. Personally, I like to have both in the fleet, just in case we do get a really heavy snow. But the Wideout XL is not far behind from the MVP3. For the third topic, we're going to talk about snow drifts. Like I said, here in Detroit, Michigan, we don't really get foots and foots of snow. We only get typically 3 to 4 inches. But if you're in an area where you need to break open snow, obviously you would want to go with the V plow. The MVP3 allows you to put the nose of the plow to break open wherever you're plowing. Now here with the Wideout XL, the moldboard isn't independent from each other. Regardless if you have the wings out like I do here or the wings in, you're gonna have to break open the snowdrift with either angling it to the left or angling it to the right. You can't throw snow both ways like you can with the MVP3. So for the snowdrift topic, the MVP3 wins. Now let's talk about which plow is easier to use. In my personal opinion, I'm gonna go with the MVP3. Why? Because there's only so many positions you can put it in. Windrow to the left, windrow to the right, scoop mode, and V mode. Now with the Wideout XL, there's so many different positions you can have. You can have one wing in, one wing out and scoop. Same for the other side, as well as angling the blade left and right. Even though both plows utilize the same controller, so I could put this plow on this truck or this plow on this truck, they're both modular. I would train somebody to operate a V plow before I were to operate or train somebody to operate with a winged plow like the Whiteout XL. Now, as you can see on the controller here, Western decided to only put one button for the wing position on each wing. So you may think, well, does that mean the wing is going to go out when I press the button, or is the wing going to come in? And in my personal experience over the years of plowing, you want to assume that the wing is always going to go out unless you have already pressed the button within the past 3 seconds. Same thing on the Whiteout XL. If you haven't pressed the button for it to go out in the past 3 seconds, it's going to automatically reset. So I always assume that the wing is going to go out. And for the MVP3, the wing is going to come forward. So the MVP3 is a little bit easier to train. That is actually the plow I actually was trained on and I used and I learned before we got the Whiteout XL. But over the years, I've learned to be efficient with it. Okay, so next I want to talk about the trip edge. Here on the Whiteout XL, it has 4 springs on the back. This is designed for the cutting edge to trip instead of the whole blade tipping. But since the springs are so condensed in the middle, it's not spread out throughout the whole plow, the blade tends to fall forward, kind of like how those Boss plows trip forward, which I don't like a lot. But here on the MVP3, as you can see, the springs are more spaced out, and there's also more of them. So we have 3 on this side and we have 3 on that side, making it a total of 6 springs. So the MVP3 is definitely better than the Whiteout XL for the trip edge because it does exactly what it's designed to do. It clips on something, it folds back, and it comes forward without the blade having to fall all the way over like the Whiteout XL. So I also wanted to talk about maintenance. Obviously, you want to grease these plows up. On a V plow like the MVP3 here, you're going to want to grease the center pin. Obviously, depending on how much you use the plow, every other storm or every storm. And you want to fluid film them as well. This plow is 4 seasons old. This plow is 3 seasons old. So as you can see, they're in fairly good condition. A couple scrapes and scratches, but nothing too out of the ordinary. You're also going to want to grease these points down here. I'm not sure if you all can see them, but there's 2 on each side. You're going to want to grease those while the plow is off. Obviously, it's so much easier to access, but obviously just keeping them maintained and keeping them greased up, and try to do your annual fluid changes, your hydraulic fluid changes. We typically do it every other season just because here in Detroit we don't get that many storms, but obviously depending on how much you utilize it, you're going to want to replace the hydraulic fluid every season. So keep these plows maintained and they'll last you a very long time. If I had mentioned the different positions that you can utilize with the Whiteout XL, and you may be thinking, well, it's much more simpler to plow with the MVP3. But yes, it does have its advantages of it being simple. But with the Whiteout XL, you have much more advantages, and let me tell you why. Let's say there is a light pole right here, right? And I want to plow around that light pole. Instead of driving the tires around the light pole, all I have to do is pull the wing in, drive forward, push the wing back out, and continue my windrow. With the MVP3, the wing is fixed to the moldboard. So if there's a light pole right here and you're approaching it, you have to drive around it. So that's just a small feature with the Whiteout XL that you'll learn over time, and a feature I've learned to love, and it just makes it a little bit easier to plow with. Obviously it's a little bit more complicated when you're in the cab driving, but those are the little features that you'll learn to love with the plow like this. So for that reason, I love the Whiteout XL. Now let's talk about transportation and going down the road. Here in the Whiteout XL, this plow goes from 8 feet 6 inches to 11 feet. You're able to get the extra feet or take the extra feet away with just the press of a button inside the cab. As you can see, the plow markers align exactly with the mirrors. Also, 8 feet 6 inches is the legal width that you're allowed to go down the road. Now if you come over here with the 9.6 MVP3 with the wings, as you can see, we have to transport this plow in the scoop position. We can't transport the plow in the V position because the edges are too low to the ground and they tend to clip on things. Now if you come over here, as you can see, without the wings, this might be legal to go down the road, but with the wings on, it adds that extra 6 inches on each side, allowing that 9 feet 6 inch scoop, which makes it about a foot over width to go down the road. Yes, you can take these wings off. They are very, very time consuming to take off. So if you're gonna run them, you might as well leave them on the plow. If you're not gonna run them, you might as well just leave them off the plow. Unless you're at a very, very big site, it's kind of not worth it to be taking them on and off between sites. So the Whiteout XL is definitely better for transportation. Now another thing that a lot of people really don't talk about when comparing these two plows is the storage. This plow is able, again, to go condensed down to an 8 foot 6 inch plow. As far as the back, both the MVP3 and the Western Whiteout XL have the same components. So it's really just about the plow itself. Since this is 8 foot 6 inches, it's definitely much easier to store than this plow. As you can see, with the wings on it, it's so much wider and it takes up a lot more space in the garage. Now if you're plowing in a straight line, both of these plows have a 9 foot 6 inch scoop, so they should carry the same amount of snow, even though it is a little bit wider of an area for the Whiteout XL to contain snow. The wings on the MVP3 come out a little further than the wings on the Whiteout XL, so they both should carry the same amount of snow. Now the only difference with these two plows is you're able to angle the Whiteout XL left and right, which means you can contain snow going around corners. With the MVP3, you're not able to do so. All you can do is turn your tires. You may be able to push one of the two wings back a little bit just to try to contain a little bit more snow, but it's nothing compared to the Whiteout XL being able to turn the moldboard completely left or right, take it wherever you need to, while still having the wings to contain the snow. So if you're plowing in a straight line, both of these plows contain the same amount of snow, but if you're going around banks and around corners that you need to turn, the Whiteout XL is definitely the better plow for that. Also, this plow is simply too wide for some of our residential driveways. We plow here in Detroit, Michigan, so the driveways are much skinnier than they really should be. Over the years, you know, trucks have just gotten bigger, cars have just gotten bigger, so a lot of the driveways are typically not fit for a big plow like that. But the Whiteout XL, you're able to condense it from 8 feet 6 inches, and then when you go to a commercial parking lot, you're able to open it up full-blown 11 feet. So the next important thing I wanted to talk about between these two plows is back dragging. Now both of these plows do a very, very good job of back dragging. The only reason why I would say the Whiteout XL does a little bit better at back dragging is because you're not able to change the width of the MVP3. Now you could take the wings on and off. Obviously I already explained that. It is time consuming to take the wings on and off, versus the Whiteout XL, you can add or take away feet from inside of the cab. Both of these plows weigh about the same. I think this plow weighs about 30 pounds more than this one. They're both right around 1,100 pounds. So they both do a really good job of back dragging. Obviously with the Western, it's a chain lift system, so it doesn't allow for downforce, but with the plows being so heavy, they do back drag very well. Now, as I mentioned, the Whiteout XL is able to change the width, making it easier to back drag in skinny driveways or parking lots. But the MVP3 does a great job as well, because if you put this plow in the V mode, it creates a pocket for your snow to contain. If you ever need to back drag and contain snow at the same time, you're able to do so without snow spilling off. It helps a lot when you're doing those small little trails and you don't want them to spill off to the side. Just throw it in the V position and you can back drag and clean up those trails without having additional trails on either side. Now with a straight blade or an expandable plow, you can only contain snow forward. You can't contain snow backwards like you can with the MVP3. But there really is no winner on the back dragging. It just depends on your application. So what you've all been waiting for, which plow would I choose? Obviously we have both plows. I've had seat time in both plows for many years, and my go-to answer will always be the Whiteout XL. Why? Because of the features that I mentioned. Being able to plow around a light pole without turning, being able to go down the road legally, being able to have independent wings that you can increase and decrease your width with just a press of a button, and still have the ability to do a similar amount of windrowing as the MVP3. My go-to plow is always going to be the Whiteout XL. So why do we have both? Well, like I said, when we get those bigger storms, we always are going to have this plow on hand to utilize. It is much easier to utilize this plow, so our operators typically like to use this one more, because it's only so many things you can do wrong. You're either windrowing left, right, or scooping straight in our application. Now, when I'm in a commercial parking lot, I will admit I typically find myself utilizing this plow more than the Whiteout XL, just because of the ease of use and because it simply shines in a commercial parking lot, as you all have seen in my previous videos. I'll try to throw up a card in there if I remember to do so. But once again, both of these plows have served us very well. If you guys have these plows, put it down in the comments. Let me know what size you guys have and whatnot. We love Western snow plows. They have been nothing but good to us over the years. So that's going to conclude this video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more.